体が動かない。終わりじゃよ。Alright, I heard you wanted more anime swordsman moments, so here we are. There's a reason why we enjoy these moments, am I right? Anime swordsmen perform instead of just fighting every time they show up during a battle. Here are some of the best moments when anime swordsmen flex too hard, Volume 2. Sliding into the Fate universe, we've got one of the nastiest showcases of raw power and swordsmanship. Saber Alter versus Berserker in Heaven's Field 2 Lost Butterfly. If Fate fights are secret mage wars that nobody notices, then this one felt like the entire sky was splitting open from the intensity of this fight. Berserker, or Heracles, is a monster on his own, a walking wall of muscle, speed, and near immortality thanks to his 12 lives. Normally, he's the kind of servant you throw at armies and he'd come back without a scratch, but when he goes toe-to-toe with Saber Alter, it's a completely different story. Saber Alter absolutely cooks with the way she carries and uses her sword, but what's shocking is that Berserker keeps getting up only to be knocked down harder every single time. It's honestly easily one of the most legendary battles in the entire Fate series. Next is Beryl's fight against Rose, from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Now this fight is basically the moment Beryl graduates from rusty old veteran vibes to proving he's still built like a legend. Rose believed that with her shield protecting her, she could subdue some old washed up swordsmen, and she did prick the old man here and there. But you see, Beryl fights like he's a guy who's already danced on death's edge 1,000 times. He adapts to Rose's fighting style with her shield and slashes open her armor, making her bleed. This was proof that his swordsmanship had been precision sharpened over the years. Rose was never facing a country bumpkin, was she? She was facing a master swordsman who made the battlefield his classroom.
やっぱり先生は強いですね。普通の剣でも多分負けてましたよ。
Up next we have Goemon, the OG swordsman from Lupin III. This man needs his own lane because he just deletes his opponents from the face of the earth in an instant. His legendary blade, Zantetsuken, is famous for cutting through literally anything, and in Goemon's blood spray, he puts that on full display. Surrounded by waves of armed enemies, all swinging every type of weapon, Goemon stands calm, collected, and then just arms, weapons, and entire squads get sliced apart like they're nothing. It was basically a massacre delivered with the elegance of a calligraphy stroke. At one point, he literally gets his ear shot off, but instead of panicking, he just cuts the gun that the guy was holding and breaks his spirit in the process. The choreography here is brutal but beautiful. With this fight, he shows everyone why Zantetsuken is the scariest flex in anime steel.
いつでも来い。なめるなよ。
うい、行くか。
Now, here's where the whole swordsman flex concept basically gets redefined. Sojiro, the willow sword from Ishura, taking on a horde of golems. On paper, this looks like an impossible matchup. Massive stone monsters, tough as hell, durable enough to shrug off normal weapons. But Sojiro isn't a normal swordsman. He's the swordsman. The guy doesn't even bring a proper blade to the party. He's using a blunt sword against those sturdy golems. Doesn't matter what weapon he's holding, because his mastery, intuition, and precision turn anything into a perfect killing edge. In that moment, Sojiro proved why he's one of the scariest swordsmen in modern anime. You know you're on another level when even the villain introduces you with goosebump-inducing hype. That's exactly how Sinbad shows up in Magi. He literally drops lightning from the sky. One swing of his Jin-empowered sword calls down a thunder strike on the medium, blasting it in a way that makes everyone on the battlefield stop and stare. And here's where it gets legendary. It's not even the heroes hyping him up, it's the antagonist introducing him with reverence as the great King Sinbad. When even the villain acknowledges your greatness, that's pure dominance. And the flex doesn't stop there. He doesn't come alone. Behind him are the metal vessel users of the Seven Seas Alliance, marching in like the ultimate backup squad. So yeah, when Sinbad showed up, he reminded the two nations that when he arrives, the fight's already decided. Moving on, we have a woman who's built like a warning sign. Ghislaine Didoldia. She's a beast woman, a sword master, and the kind of mentor who'll kill you in training if you blink the wrong way. But the time she absolutely erased two kidnappers trying to snatch Rudius and Eris was her flexing the difference between mercenary thug and real swordsman. Before they even process what's happening, Ghislaine is on them like a storm with a deadly sword. In one heartbeat, their weapons are useless. In the next, they're bleeding out and completely destroyed. She dismantles them so quickly, it feels like they never stood a chance. This woman just needs a single strike of her sword to prove why in the world of swords, she's an absolute beast. We have to talk about this heartbreaking scene from Dororo. Up until this point, Hyakimaru's journey had been all about slowly reclaiming his stolen body parts, one demon at a time. But when he meets Mio, a gentlewoman who looks past his scars and even sings to comfort him, he experiences love and warmth for the very first time in his life. But then, it all gets ripped apart. The samurai massacre Mio and the children she cared for, and Hyakimaru completely breaks. He tears through an entire group of soldiers in a frenzy, treating them not as men, but as demons who stole the one person that gave him hope. He becomes a storm of steel, slicing through dozens without slowing down. His pain made his sword unstoppable, and his vengeance left nothing but silence. Up next, we have a swordsman who knows how to make a fight both short and legendary. You see, Yahiko is about to get crushed by this mountain of a man, literally a giant wielding a sword the size of a house. And then Hiko shows up draped in that massive cape that probably ate half the anime's budget. He steps in like it's no big deal and instantly takes control of the battlefield. The fight itself is pure disrespect. Fuji is supposed to be unstoppable. Like, bro literally looks like a nightmare to everyone else. But to Hiko, he means nothing. He unleashes the Kuzu Ryusen, a move so powerful it breaks Fuji's blade and leaves the giant completely humbled. He doesn't kill Fuji. Instead, he schools him like a teacher correcting a student, showing that true swordsmanship isn't about brute force, but mastery and control. What an absolute legend. Some fights are all about explosions and power-ups, but Hakuro versus Kyoya from Reincarnated as a Slime, well, this one's the exact opposite.
いや、まだ見えてはおらぬな。そろそろお主の天眼にもわしの動きが追えるじゃろうって。おぼろ流水山。体が動かない。いや、動けない。思考加速が切れない。
Kyoya had been riding high on arrogance, convinced his flashy skills and dirty tricks made him untouchable. He'd even caught Hakuro once before under unfair conditions, relying on barriers and cheap advantages. But when they met again, the old swordsman showed why experience and mastery will always trump arrogance. None of Kyoya's dirty tricks worked on Hakuro, not even his all-seeing eye. Instead, he gets humbled instantly in just one slash. It's not revenge for revenge's sake, it's karmic justice, plain and simple. Kyoya's smug confidence shatters the moment he realizes he's completely outclassed. Hakuro erases Kyoya's pride, leaving him broken and humiliated. It's the perfect showcase of why Hakuro is one of Tempest's most respected warriors, calm, ruthless, and unstoppable when it matters.
終わりじゃよ。
Having fun? Well, you know how to let me know, don't you? Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell icon to be updated every time I upload a new video. Thanks, time for the next entry. And speaking of swordsmen who make their blades feel like pure disrespect, we can't skip Hiei's Sword of the Darkness Flame in Yu Yu Hakusho.
演殺剣
This move is peak edge, but it's the kind of edge that actually delivers. He uses this move against Kuro Momotaro, who was nothing but cocky as soon as their battle started. Hiei channels the flames of the underworld straight into his blade, turning his already deadly sword into something that makes demons rethink their life choices. This dude has zero humility, total confidence, and disrespect so sharp it cuts harder than the blade itself. And then there's the execution. Fast, clean, and so overwhelming that his opponent doesn't even get the chance to understand how outclassed they are before it's over. And about Kuro, he got humbled by the coolest swordsman in the Dark Tournament. When people call Vice Captain Hoshina the Levi Ackerman of Kaiju number 8, this fight is exactly why that happens.
これはもう人間の動きじゃねえ 見えない刃の二連撃霞打ち三連撃取った
The moment this man was introduced in the series, it was crystal clear that he's built different. And against Garfgar's Kaiju number 8 form, we get to see exactly why. Garfgar, who's in a complete panic state, tries to avoid getting chopped. And on the other hand, Hoshina treats the battle like a personal playground, unleashing swordsmanship so sharp it feels like he's dancing on the battlefield. Personally, I found Hoshina's style so buttery smooth. This fight was also well animated. Hoshina's fighting style is so controlled that Garfgar looks like he doesn't even stand a chance against him, not in a million years.
うわ逃がした
And keeping the streak of ruthless swordplay going, we've got Mizu taking on the Four Fangs in Blue-Eyed Samurai. This fight seriously hits hard. 4 deadly assassins, each with their own unique style and lethal skills, surround Mizu with the clear intent of ending her journey right then and there. But what they don't realize is that they probably should have brought more than just 4. The 4 Fangs try to overwhelm her with numbers and an ambush, but a sword becomes an extension of pure discipline and rage. The choreography here is nothing short of breathtaking, and Mizu just proves herself to be a beast. She dismantles 4 assassins who were supposed to be elite killers, and she does it with such controlled fury that it feels more like an execution than a battle. Moving on, Kirito finally comes back to full strength in Sword Art Online Alicization against the Prince of Hell. After being stuck in a wheelchair for months, seeing him rise with both the Night Sky Blade and Yu-Gi-Oh's Blue Rose Sword in hand hits like a thunderbolt. It's the return of the one-man army Kirito all of us had been waiting for. POH, who thrives on cruelty and chaos, comes at him with relentless bloodlust, but Kirito's calm, calculated swordsmanship is on a completely different level. The dual-wielding sequences are so fine, and then comes the most satisfying moment. Kirito trapped POH in the Giga Cedar Tree, a callback to the very beginning of Alicization. This fight works not just as a spectacle, but as closure. It's Kirito reclaiming his strength, honoring Yu-Gi-Oh's memory, and serving karmic justice to one of SAO's most sadistic villains. But what really dropped our jaws was when we saw Dengen fighting against Gyutaro in Demon Slayer. Everyone forgets how he was in the worst possible position during his fight against Gyutaro. He's poisoned with only one eye and arm left, yet he still moves like a machine, and the way he flexed with those chain dual swords is just legendary. His sound breathing was basically a cheat code. Instead of flailing around against Gyutaro's flying blood blades, Dengen was literally reading the rhythm of his attacks. Even while bleeding out, his swings were sharp, flamboyant, and precise, like he was putting on a deadly performance. And let's not forget that he was fighting an Upper Moon who could shred Hashira level opponents while simultaneously protecting Tanjiro and coordinating with the squad. Ufotable really turned this fight into a straight visual firework display, and Tengen made sure the spotlight never left him. Kid came in with all the confidence in the world, charging up his damn punk like it was about to rewrite history. But Shanks, with that terrifying observation haki, saw the future, read every outcome, and decided he wasn't about to let his crew or the island suffer. He closed the distance in a blink, coated his blade in Conqueror's haki, and unleashed Roger's legendary attack, Divine Departure. The pressure shattered Killer's blades, blew Kid's ship apart, and dropped them both instantly. Shanks didn't mock Kid or toy with him, he treated him as a genuine threat and devastated him in one strike. It was humbling, brutal, and the perfect showcase of why Shanks is feared without even having a devil fruit. One swing, and the red-haired legend turned a supernova's dream into dust. If you missed out on watching Volume 1, I'll link it in the description. We may have missed some of your favourite entries that might have been missed featuring in both these videos, so don't keep us hanging. Be sure to comment down below any entries that you think should have made this list. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so we can show you more of the best moments around. See you next time.